The two deck boxes I've built are designed to catch the rain and let it run off the side, as I've explained in other videos. But what I neglected to do before I started fiberglassing is I need to put like a piece of wood along this length just to stop it coming this way. Now, I was in two minds whether or not I should do that before or after the fiberglassing, but again, after I've spoken to people about it, the consensus seems to be I should have put that bit of wood on first, and because I was worried about the tight angle here. There'd be like a 90-degree angle, but should be all right. So what I'm gonna do today, sand all this down, and then I'm going to put the piece of wood on here, and then I'm going to go home. And next time I come down, I'm going to put a layer of fiberglass on, and that should be its second layer, and that should be that box done. And then I can, hopefully, the other boxes under this pile of junk, hopefully I can do a better job on the second box. These boxes, deck boxes, are quite important because it's coming into winter and the boat's taking on a lot of water. Every time I come down here, like I said, I think I said this before, I have to spend an hour sort of mopping out the bilges, which isn't nice, but it also takes a lot of my energy. So once I've done that, that's me done for the day. There is about a foot of rainwater, well, not a foot, but there's quite a bit of rainwater in the bilge again. I'll walk you through the new bilge system, and hopefully that'll save a lot of trips down here. But once that's properly set up and once the deck boxes are on, I think I'm going to be in a lot better position to keep the bilge dry. The system I have now is, there's my pump. I had two of these, one on either side, but one of them died. And as you can see, the keel timber is proud of the sort of the bottom of the hull by a few inches, so there's no way for water to flow between either side. So I need a pump on either side if I want to get them as dry as possible. That's my new switch down there. It was a more expensive model because it's a lot more reliable, and it takes a lot less water to trip it. And I've gone through several of the cheap switches, and I've gone through several of the cheap pumps, and I thought it was about time I spent a little bit of money, and then I won't have to replace them every 5 minutes. So yeah, that's the switch, and then we have where it's all connected. I use those waterproof heat shrinking seals. They work really well, and it's obviously important to keep things dry in a boat. I think that's where I was getting a lot of the problems before. Now, I've not sort of tidied away this wire yet, simply because I need to wait until the engine's in place before I can start doing stuff like that. So at the minute it's just a bit of a chaotic jumble of wires, which is always good. And it's connected. Got the positive and negative coming from the bilge pump and the switch, and then they're connected to this charger. It's got a sort of a digital cut off, so if it overloads the system, the charger will shut itself off and it won't blow the main breakers or explode. So I tried the fiberglass and I wasn't great at it, but I kind of got an idea with this how smooth it could go, and it's the first time I've done it. Now I've asked online for advice from people who were sort of fiberglass people, and the consensus is if you leave more than 24 hours between layers, then you have to sand each layer, and that gives you a mechanical grip between that layer and the next layer of fiberglass. If you lay fiberglass and then lay another sheet immediately over the top of it, you get what's called a chemical bond, which is stronger and better for fiberglassing. Now the problem I have, as I've explained before, is sort of energy levels. So it might not seem like a big job, but fiberglass and putting one layer of fiberglass on this is probably at a time is probably going to be my limit. So I think what will happen is I'll put a layer of fiberglass on, sand it down, put a layer on, leave it for a day or so, come back, sand it down, put another layer on, and do it like that, and eventually build up, I think, just 2 or 3 layers, and that way I'll get a nice finish. Ideally I would do it the chemical route and just put them all on at once, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that, so just got to work with the tools you have, don't you? So I've marked it where I want a drill. Just gonna I've got some stainless steel screws. I don't think, strictly speaking, necessary to use stainless steel, but that's what I've got. So what I need to do is get them in and countersink them. I've got the wrong kind of bit on, I don't know if they'll go in now. I might have to. They're not really countersink screws, you see. Third, nobody's going to see it, so it'll be under fiberglass. I'll do it and just fill it in with some sealant before I do the fiberglass. That's it. Like I said, it's not a very tidy job, but it doesn't have to be because it's under fiberglass. Got one on. I'm going to use the rest of it to do a similar trim at the top. There we go. Afternoon, back down on the boat. Had a few days off, been busy at work and busy in bed, sleeping. Today I'm going to sand down this box, ready for fiberglass, and talk a little bit about the mistakes I made in the fiberglass and how I'm going to rectify them. I'm also going to try and drill out the bolts I sheared off on the engine. I tried that the other day, I didn't have much success, but I think when I was drilling the pilot hole to start to put the sort of extraction tool in, I don't think I drilled it down far enough, so I'm going to have one more go at that, see if I can get them out. If I can't get them out, I'll just leave them in for now and just get on with the rebuild, and hopefully further down the line I can take them out. We'll see. But they might work because they're stuck where they need to be and they're tight, so they might do the job, you know. So we'll have to see in the long term. But today, sanding and drilling, and should be about it. So I've got my protection, and here we go. Well, the area must be well ventilated, so I've got my window open here. I swear I'm my own worst enemy sometimes. I've got one of these, put on the angle grinder, and I've got a dust collecting vacuum to collect the dust, but because I'm born idle I didn't use either, and obviously I've covered the entire cabin in fiberglass dust, and I've had to spend half an hour getting it up. I'm itchy as hell, and I suppose next time don't be so bloody lazy. I always tell myself it's about preparation, getting ready for a job, and then I make a stupid lazy mistake like that. So it's hard to see, it's a little cramped in here, but I've finished doing the wood trims on the top of each of these deck boxes. The next thing to do is to make some fiberglass fillets into these spaces, and along here, here, here and here, and also on the outsides. Get some fillets and then get it all flush, and then once that's done, fiberglass, two laser fiberglass on each, and then they're ready to go. So that's me done for the night. I haven't really done a lot, but I think my philosophy at the minute is, as long as I do something every day, then eventually it'll get done.
A man walks down the street, it's a street